Here because I thank Elon for what he's doing, finding all the fraud and waste in our government.
Okay.
And then this screeching woman behind me just calls me a Nazi. I don't even know why I'm being called a Nazi, because I can think for myself.
Yep,
Sorry,
okay.
I stand with Tesla. They want to take this company down, who has a lot of people depend on for work. Minnesota has 2 million shares of Tesla in their what's it called?
Pension fund.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
in their pension fund.
Yeah.
And they want to take this company down. I can't believe it.
So what would you say to the whole thing about looking at the Doge site and what the actual fraud and abuse is supposedly found, and that it might actually not be fraud and abuse, but just...
Well, I don't know if anybody's watched the Brett Barr interview with Musk and his team behind him. They're all CEOs of important companies. It's not all these little kids that everybody's talking about. Watch, if YouTube, Brett Barr and Elon and Doge team. Watch that and see what people think.
Okay, but what about the
I believe he's finding all the waste, fraud and waste. I'm not questioning it at all, because people...
Isn't it good to question government, though?
Obama and who's the last? Biden. They both say, "Oh, we need to do something about this waste." And they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Somebody's actually doing something, and they're shooting the messenger.
But shouldn't we be questioning the government and asking for the evidence, the actual evidence?
Doge.com.
I've been there.
Doge.gov.
I've been there. I don't see it. I see what I see is legitimate or illegitimate programs that were voted on by Congress that are executed by these agencies, which are administrated by the administration, and administration after administration. That's kind of how it works. I agree that there's some wasteful programs, sure.
Some.
But the thing is that he's not doing it in a constitutional way. Congress is who votes on these things to fund them in the first place.
He hasn't done anything unconstitutional.
Yeah, they're making their way to the court, and they are unconstitutional because he's unconfirmed. He's not elected or confirmed. So I guess my only question would be is to question what he's talking about as the fraud and abuse. Even the Social Security, which the current administration even says that it was less than 1% of fraud. This whole thing about people being so old in these databases. I'm a former IT guy. I know that there's a lot of data.
Why don't you go work with the Doge team?
That's a good idea.
Why don't you?
But
and you can find out the truth, maybe.
Yeah. But looking
all
at
these really watch that interview, and you tell me these smart men just upped and walked away from their CEO jobs.
There's a lot of smart men that make some bad decisions. That's all I have to say. But thank you, though. I mean, I really appreciate it. I'm glad that you articulated the position.
And thank you for not calling me a Nazi.
Okay.